Welcome to today's TSL podcast. We are on a men's development excellence call. It's been going over 4 hours, 12:16 a.m. That means it's April 13th. We started this call on April 12th. If you want to be a part of this, follow the links down below. And of course, the most important thing, guys, do this shit. Do this, because if you follow the link down below, it will take you to a page where you see a video of this. You can download the audio, but most importantly, you can download April's freebie giveaway, which is the text messaging, the sexual text messaging thing. Dude, this is fucking awesome. Let me just tell you, at first when we released this a couple months ago, like 150 people downloaded it. And most people think like getting sexual is a joke and stuff like that. There's actually a section in there on dick pics, which people are like, you can't do that. Let me tell you, man, there's like 10, 12 dudes that are a part of our boards that are like, man, this is just now standard procedure. I do it right. I don't want to offend anybody. It's awesome. And the girls like go crazy for them. So look, just download that text messaging guide. It will teach you a lot. And then if you have problems with it, you can go to the free Austin Men's Development Board and talk about it. Guys will help you out. Now, it's a free board, so that means there's a lot of people on there. The paid boards are infinitely better. And with the paid boards, you get this call, which is pretty cool, Wednesdays and Sundays, and they go on for a long time, and we do all this stuff. But this is something about the nectar of the gods of sex, of pickup, that everybody gets wrong. And I'm just going to tell you, man, so when I came up in 2006, I would go out with this guy, Jason, and he was like really good at pulling chicks, right, man? He was fucking badass, right? He went by the name CJ or Captain Jack, and he was just good at it. So I just thought this was the norm. But all he would do was talk to girls, and he'd get them moderately turned on. And he'd do this thing called framing or whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Don't look into it as a scientific hack. It's not that great. But he was the first guy to do it. He was really smart. And then he would leave with them. Okay? And so I just started realizing, I was, oh, man, you don't need that much to just leave with a girl. You could talk to her for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. If there was some sort of intent exchange, you just had to really end up in her car. And you didn't want her to follow you or you to follow her. It was either her getting your car, you getting her car. If she's giving her friends a ride home, well then, guess what? You go with all of them and see if you can pull it off. But that's what we did. And that's how I learned, right? And it was very successful. Nobody in the industry was doing this. So let alone I become a professional pickup artist. I get heavy into the dating world. I start becoming the host of the 21 Convention. I meet all these coaches and they start asking me to come on their different things. I have been with the best guys in the world, the fucking best guys in the world. Amazing. Like, they're so good with women, and they're good with women, man. They get laid all the time. They do all this shit, but they try too hard. They do not realize how easy sex is because they do not get it. And I can't believe they don't get this. And I'm talking about, like, if you took the 20 best, most famous, and legitimately good, because if you take the 20 most famous, probably all of them are going to suck. Maybe one of them is actually going to be good. But the guys that are actually getting laid, if you talk to those guys, none of them do this. None of them do this. And then it's like you talk to like some of my natural friends and they get this. And why is this? Because pickup dudes always did stuff for attention and like there was too much strategy and they overthought the fucking shit. But here's the thing, man. All I need is to know that a girl has thought about me sexually, and then I do a couple things. One, I stop talking to her. I stop making it about this emotional experience. I stop getting into rapport, and I'm a rapport guy. I can get into heavy rapport. You can get into rapport and transition to sex, but if she shows me sexuality, I let go of rapport. Why? Because then the sexuality has to have a sexual meaning. You'll get more resistance in the end. All that sort of stuff. And I just jump straight to, all right, how's this girl getting home? How can I go home with her? If that can't happen, how can I get a date with her? And that is it. I don't even need to talk to her. And you might think, well, she's not going to leave for 2 more hours. Dude, stop talking to her. Stop talking to her. You can find her when you leave. And I can't believe so many times I've done this. And actually, when I give advice to guys and they're really heavily into pickup, they always argue with me. I'm like, really? You're arguing with me? But this is the situation. They talk to a girl, they let her go, they go and talk to a bunch of other girls, and then at the end of the night comes and the girl leaves. And I go, dude, man, this girl was like ready to fuck you. Go run after her. He's like, no, that's supplicating. That's chasing. And I go, dude, shut the fuck up and go after her or you're done. And a lot of times they go, no. And then I say, man, fuck you, you're done. Like, just I'm done giving advice to you tonight. You're not listening, later. But see, the thing is I always did that. I chased after him. Why? Because to chase pussy is fucking awesome. To chase women is awesome. But to lower yourself in order to chase women is not awesome. And there's a difference within that. And a very easy way to see that is in pickup, they always say, don't lean in. But God damn it, I lean in all the time because I'm like, hey, let me show myself. If a woman wants me, I go after them. If they're leaving the bar and I had some sort of sexual attraction, I follow them. I go with them. I do whatever I can to leave that bar with them because, and we hear this on the Sunday call, whereas Terrence talks about this stuff. He's like, man, I don't give a fuck what you talk about strip club strategy. You could say about this. You could buy dances. You could not buy dances. You could hold the frame. You could do all this fucking hokey shit. I don't give a fuck because if you leave the club with that girl or that girl meets you outside of the club, you win. I don't care if you did it with money. I don't care if you did it with status. I don't care if you did it with some sort of weird pickup, crazy shit. Like, man, you get her outside of the club, you win. And that's what we need to start realizing. If you get a girl outside of a club, you win. And actually, man, if you go to thesexuallife.com/152, 153, 154, this is all on this same thing. All on the same thing. Do it right now. We're on this call right now. You know who I'm talking to. Do that right now. It'll tell you all about SNLs. It'll tell you what you need to do. Because you got to fucking do that. Stop wasting time. I couldn't believe it. When I was on the Euro tour and I was with all these badass coaches and there's this guy and we pull these two girls and actually one of the students from the Euro tour pulled this girl with the other instructor and they're trying to like party and show off. And I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? There's like 6 guys in this room and 2 girls and you're trying to continue to have a party to show you're cool. Like, instructor, take your girl and move her to the room. Get her out of here. What are you doing, man? Why are you doing this? And even with the poll, it was like, oh yeah, we can go back and we can party. And it's going to be so cool. And they're selling them all this shit. Man, I never had to do that. If I met a girl in a club and I was like, okay, this girl's good to go, I'd be like, hey, what are you doing later? Oh man, I'm going to tag along. And I would be that mellow. And they'd be like, I don't know, well, we're going to get food, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh man, and actually, you want to know that he's asking, he's like, just say, hey, I'm coming with you. This is the funniest thing. I was riding around with my friend the other night and he was CJ's original wing and all this sort of stuff. It was like old school stuff. It's like 2005, 2006 shit. And basically he's like, I can't believe how many times Jason would do this shit. And this is for real what he would do. He would go to the club, he'd talk to girls and say, man, my friends saw me talking to you. They ditched me. I don't have a ride. And sometimes he would actually get his mother to drop him off at the bar just so he could be put in this situation, right? And so then he would do this other thing. This is amazing. And you, who I'm talking to on this call, you should try this. But he would literally do this. I mean, like, I've seen happen over 20 times. And this is kind of crazy and elaborate for 20 times. But he would be like, hey, can you give me a ride to my car? It's just down the street. So they go, okay. So he'd end up in the girl's car. She'd give him a ride home. And she'd give him a ride to his car. He goes, yeah, it's just over there. And she'd drive over there and he's like, okay, turn right here. Okay, so she turns right. And then he'd go like, yeah, get out on the parking lot, get on the street. Gets on the street. She's on the street driving. And she's like, how far is your car? And she's like laughing and thinking it's funny. And he's like, man, just keep going. Hop on the highway for a second. I hop on the highway. So, okay, you got to get on this highway now. And he gets on this highway. And they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this stuff. Oh. And then he pulls up to his apartment. And he's like, yeah, my car's right there. And that's where his car was. And they all laugh. And he's like, man, come on, you guys, you got to come inside. He'd do this where he was pulling with me. He would do this when he was pulling with my friends. He did this when he was pulling alone. Now, I'm not saying you even have to do that. The thing that I'm so grateful for in him doing that is he showed me how possible it was just to say like, hey, I need to get in your car. Or, hey, I'm getting in your car. Hey, you guys are getting food. I'm going to follow you. And then your goal is to get that girl alone with you. Now, her friends may not let you. And here's another thing that would happen. And again, man, go to thesexuallife.com/152, 153, 154 and learn the thorough mapping out of this. And there's an article on it and all this stuff when I wrote articles about this shit because it's just so easy to fucking do. Why aren't you doing it, man? You know? So make it so complex. You make it such about this egotistical strategic map. You fuck yourself instead of fucking a pussy. So then one of the other things was this was awesome. I was in Vegas. I was teaching my first workshop. I was with John, another John, and this other asshole, Carlos, who's a total bitch, man. Fucking amazing. The instructors that we saw with the whole mystery method scene were fucking the most ridiculous, deranged fuck ups that you could imagine. The fact that people gave them money is just sad. It's just, they're crazy people. Anyway, so I meet this girl. It's my first workshop that I'm a coach on, right? So I meet this girl, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't even know what I did, but she was really attractive. She was like a blonde girl, not necessarily my type, but you can't say no to that. And she's a hot chick, right? And so I'm walking with her, and somehow I opened her, and it was late. It was like really late. We were just trolling through the casinos, and it was after a lot of the clubs had closed, so like 4 a.m. type thing. And she had her night, and she goes, she was from San Jose, because the next night I met another girl from San Jose that I actually dated. And the thing is I remember we went out in front. This was at the Hard Rock. We went to the taxi line. We get in the taxi line, and I just remember John, the other John, both going like, "All right, man, later, Steve," and they just took off and they ditched me. And so I'd been doing this with Jason, and I had seen it a couple times, but they ditched me. Best thing I could ever do. Best thing that could ever happen to me. And dude, anytime after that I was with a girl, I would just say, "Man, my friends ditched me." Or, "Man, I didn't drive. Can I get a ride?" And guess what I did on that Euro tour? And the people were blown away by it. Blown away. Blown away. So this is so fucking stupid, man. So we meet these girls in the club. They pull them. The student doesn't really know what's up because he's trying to learn the stuff. And the coach is going crazy. And he even actually told me, he said, "Steve, you got to chill out. You're creeping him out." I was like, whatever. One of the other instructors came outside to me on the balcony, and he's like, "So how do you think they do this?" And I'm like, "Really? Man, you end up alone with them. That's how you do it. Why are they partying? I don't get it. But I trust you guys are cool, but whatever." So they're partying. I shit you not, man. Hour and a half goes by, and I'm sitting there talking to him. I finally, the client leaves. He doesn't know what's up. He's like, "Man, it's, like you need to be 5 a.m. and I'm really tired." So finally, the instructor pulls the girl into the bedroom. This took him an hour and a half. That's all he had to do was just say, "Hey, come into the bedroom. I want to show you something." Whatever. You just an excuse to get in there. All you need is an excuse. You don't need to talk anybody into it. You don't need to sell anything. It doesn't need to be some big wizardry thing. And I'm out there on the balcony occupying the other chick. And this fucking dumbass opens up the window and is like, "Welcome to Budapest. Yeah, what are you guys doing?" I was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Why are you now... You're in a room alone with this girl, and now you're making a scene to me and her friend." And then they sit there, whatever, and he tries to escalate because he's using like forceful, whatever, super escalation tactics. The funny thing is these guys have a product on escalation, which is like, rape, but you get them to say yes a few times after you force them, sort of thing. And so basically what happens is the girl does what all girls do, and she's like, "You know what, I gotta go." And she signals to her friend out the window, "Hey, I gotta go." They go, "We gotta go." They get into emergency mode. They gotta go. I said, "Hey, I'll walk you out." And they start leaving. And they actually had a guy friend with them who was gay, and they leave. And I said, "Man, I'll take you guys out. It's a great night, whatever, blah, 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 blah." Walk them out. In the meantime, the PUA dude who I was with is like, no, come on, just don't leave. Oh, give me a hug. Oh, please, da, 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 da. And that's the kind of fucking bitch ass chasing you do. So what I'm saying, when you chase pussy, you go for it. You chase pussy with a hard dick. You don't chase pussy with a fucking begging and pleading, oh, whatever. You don't chase pussy the way a guy who orders a street hooker and then she's like, "I'm sorry, I'm out of here." And you're left beating off in the corner going, no, come on, just finish it. That's what you don't want to be. You can't be a bitch, man. You got to chase pussy with a hard dick as a man, putting it out there. So what happens is she leaves, they all leave, the two girls leave, the gay dude leaves, and I walk them out and I say, "Man, this is kind of weird, but I got locked out of my room. Can I crash with you guys?" It is now 5 a.m. We're walking around the streets of Budapest and they say, "Sure." So of course, like a smart person, I took my fucking backpack with my condoms, with my flashlight, with my computer, with all my possessions, and I walk with them. And I walk back to their place. And I was talking to this one girl who was super cool, and she had a boyfriend or whatever and all this sort of stuff. Because again, as we were saying on the call, those are just words. A person who has to describe and articulate and define their sexuality to you doesn't know it. And not saying that everybody who has a boyfriend that shouldn't be disrespected, but if they are remotely turned on or into you, and then they have to define why they shouldn't be into you, guess what? Don't listen. Listen to their bodies. Allow their body to express. And why? Because, think about this. It's like, oh, it's a lie. I'm doing something immoral. And you can decide for that. But what is the lie? Am I going to lie to you about my body and my feelings of my heart, my feelings of my urges? Or am I going to lie to you and listen or partake in the bullshit excuse of the chatter of why you can't do things and you don't really know why because there's a rule and blah, 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 blah. Man, let that person be free. Man, let that person be free. Fucking let their bodies be free. Let that language talk, or else they're going to keep repressing it. So anyway, we talked. The two fucking, and this is typical. The two are like, well, hey, man, we made a bed for you and, cool. But the girl that I'm talking to is obviously I'm talking to. She's and this is what would happen. Basically, those two left. But if she would have said, I need to go to bed, I would say, well, man, let me just talk to you a little bit more in your room. I'm not going to do anything just to get the isolation. So I get the isolation. Guess what happens? This is what I do. Same thing that I talk to all you guys about. We're sitting in the bed and she's like, no, I have a boyfriend. I mean, man, it doesn't mean that. Just like, look, we're having a good time. I'll sit on top of the covers. You go underneath the covers. And so then I said, man, I wonder what kind of a kisser you are. And I just keep thinking about it. Man, we're in between covers. It doesn't matter. Like, let's just kiss. And we kiss, and I get into it, do the same 6 points of escalation thing. I stop it, or she stops it, or whatever, and then I say, kiss me how you want to kiss me. I get turned on. I fucking show her my dick through my pants, and I'm like, this is your... And there's a huge language barrier because she's Italian and doesn't speak much English. So I'm like, look at this, look at this, look at this. It's kind of the language of love. Come on, we all get that, right? And then we have sex. And I remember I didn't finish sex, so I just beat off and jerked off on her body. And I came back to the workshop because there was a no jerk off rule, which I'm against, man. I'm all for fucking let that shit out, man. Fucking clean those pipes. Let that sperm regenerate. Come on, man. You got a fucking dick and balls. Put them to work, god damn it. Man, you're not their bitch. They're fucking your bitch. In more ways than one. But anyway, the thing is that I came back and I said, guys, sorry. I fucking jerked off, but at least it was inside of a pussy first and it went on a girl. And they were like, how did you do that? How did you do that? And I said, dude, I just said I was locked out and went home with them and stayed at their place and then isolated the girl. Like, man, well played. I was like, what the fuck kind of like weird pickup shit are you guys doing? All you need to do is get alone with a girl. You don't even need to do much in escalation. You just need to get her into you. And one of the best things is get her in a relationship with your dick. Because all women love dick. All women love to make you come. They just don't want to be hit on bad. So bypass that. Learn how to hit on them right. Get in a situation where you can get sexual and let her love your dick. So long story short, motherfucker, who you fucked up tonight, but it's good because at least you're trying. And hey, man, I wish more people were trying to pull and getting shot down. But get in their car. Chase it. Run after it. Go after it with a hard dick. Don't do it like a begging dude. Don't do it like you're lowering yourself to do it, but do it to fucking get yourself in the situation. You don't need much talking yourself into. If there's anything, it's like, hey, man, I'm not going to hurt you guys. Come on, it'll be fun. My friends ditched me. You're really going to make me fucking like find a ride? I don't want to admit this, but I don't have any money on my card to get an Uber or whatever the fuck it is. Get in their car. They'll let you in their car. It's all good. It's so fucking easy, man. And if, of course, they're driving alone, it's way easier. And if they're driving together, then it's a little bit different, but it's all logistics. How do you get them alone and get them into the beautiful art of them being a woman to turn you on? That being said, you want to learn how to fuck, you want to learn relationships, you want to learn dating. That's what the TSL podcast is for, and you are on it. Download the text messaging guide. It will change your fucking goddamn text messaging life, and get on the Awesome Men's Development Board and start interacting with some people who are bettering themselves, and they do it while having sex. And having sex can be done in all sorts of different ways, whether you're being promiscuous, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're married, whether you're just jerking off. Man, the sexual life is a fucking great thing. All right, go fuck.